Hello everybody and welcome to Chief Drawing. Today I'm doing a very special showcase. I wish I could do a build video, but I only thought about that after the fact. So today I'm going to show you something that I built in the prefab editor called the Monolith. Now, not exactly the best name, but I'll show you why it's called that. So this is the outside wall, as you can see. If I just walk through this gate, okay, there we go. It's a gigantic Gothic style cathedral that I spent several days building on the level editor. I think it came out very nicely. There's a lot of detail in this build, a huge amount of detail. What we'll do is I will do an outside tour like this just to show you the outside, and then I will do an inside tour so you can see everything on the inside. So on the outside, I just want to get a full pan around. There you can see the huge stained glass rear window. I'll explain more about that later. Here we have the sides with these huge windows. Now a lot of the size of this actually was due to convenience. Once I built that first entrance area, which was this, I realized I'd gotten myself into a hell of a project. And about a week or two later, I was still working on it, dying to get it finished. But as you can see here, we've got loads of little statues. The front is very detailed. In fact, I actually think it might be too detailed, but once I'd put the stuff on there, it was very difficult to decide what to take off. We have this lovely little garden outside as well, little maze, all designed and decorated by myself, with help from, friends and family, of course. Mainly my wife and some of my close friends. Mainly asking their opinion, you know how it is. This front area was the first thing I built, and once I built it, I realised what I was in for. These blocks here on the trim actually quite difficult to find and to use when you're looking through the list of blocks, because they're all trimmed and they have to be trimmed in the same way. Flipping it using the mirror tool does not work. Funny enough, the mirror tool is almost useless for anything that is specifically orientated, like these corner blocks, the inside corner blocks. Using the mirror tool just absolutely completely ruins them. Here we have the three-dimensional inside little statue rooms. They're always watching. Nice golden crosses. And then the doors actually are 2 doors wide because, well, I couldn't actually fit it normally. There wasn't any doors big enough. Here we have the entrance. Let's have a look at this walk-in. Wow. And then, the sun shining in through the windows at the top. Beautiful. Perfect timing for that. Here we have the inside, where the floor is tiled, patterned, as you can see from high up. It's quite a cool little pattern. Leads all the way up to the altar. These pillars as well needed to be excuse the breaking bones there. They have to be built in line. Arches do not work the way they work in real life in this. So in order to remain structural, in order to keep structural stability high, I needed to increase those all the way up to the roof. Now this window looks opaque with the altar at the back here, but it isn't. As you can see, it is in fact stained glass. And it's also several blocks thick. That's how you do designs in stained glass, in my opinion, is you do a wall that is 3 blocks thick. The design is on the outside blocks and the glass is on the inside. As you can see, a huge big sheet of stained glass goes up for the whole thing, and the design is purely on both sides, mirrored as well, so that it has the same design outside as it does inside, and you get that cool effect. A lot of gold crosses, a lot of gold trim, as you would expect in a cathedral of this magnitude. On the sides here, you have identical doors which lead to stairwells. Now, I'm not going to walk up them for the sake of your time and attention. Up here is different from the other side because this side allows access to the organ that I've built. Now, is it functional? If you use your imagination, sure. Is it functional in-game? No. Looks cool, though. This is where I would sit and play Toccata and Fugue in D minor or something. Same side, same on that side, except it doesn't have the entrance. So that set of stairs goes purely up to the next set, up here, which leads to floor number 2. Up here is the inside of the outside window. Make sense of that any way you will. Same design, except this is 3 blocks. I think it's 3 blocks or 4 blocks thick. 1 block in the middle, and then the glass on the outsides. That allows you to build some pretty cool designs. From up here, from down here, the glass, as I said, looks opaque, but sometimes light still shines through. Like, I do like that, the way the sun was shining through those windows. Sometimes that doesn't work, given the size of the structure. Up here, this set of stairs leads up to my quarters, or whoever runs the cathedral's quarters. Some say the Mage's quarters. This leads you here, which is into the little apartment. Look at this. Beautiful. Let me put the crosshair back on, because it won't let me open doors otherwise for some reason. We have the little shower grate, an open shower, little grate up there, a candle, yeah, and a sink and a bathroom. You gotta have these things, otherwise, you know, are you really role playing? Then we have these lovely flowers, more decorations, the gym area. This is where I do self-improvement, as you can see. I have my lovely bookcases and my my idol, Mr. Mannequin. I strive to be as unaffected as him and unfazed, cool in the moments of danger. You can get these cool little signs as well when you use the debug menu. Adds a lovely little bit of class. Here we have the TV station, you know, all that good stuff. We also have this really cool loft bedroom. Probably one of my favorite parts of the whole build, actually, is this cozy little loft with some lovely photographs. Very nice. It's a pretty sweet chainsaw. Looks like it's 50s, the 1950s or something. Makeshift post-apocalyptic gas-actuated pistol, of course. Who doesn't have one of those on their wall? Skull crushers. Here we go. As you can see, an unmade bed, because who the hell cares when everyone's dead? You got to have an extractor fan if you have an oven. You don't want that carbon monoxide poisoning to get you. It's a silent killer. Here we go. You can get up to the roof here as well, where you can see these beautiful spikes. That's to deter parachuting zombies. Very dangerous rusty roof here. We'll ignore the rust. It's part of the design. It's a feature. And we have stairs. The roofs are actually built to facilitate walking. This whole place is scalable in the base game. Not that it's in the base game, but you get my drift. These windows up here, they let you look into the second floor, but nowhere further down. You can climb up to the highest point on the roof. Most people do this when they play with this build. First thing they do is climb up here and go, wow, look at me, ma. Same thing on the other side. Stairs. That's not stairs, that's a ladder. Stairs there, all that good stuff. There are secret ways of climbing up the outside. So you've seen the inside. Let's actually have a look at some of the vaults first, shall we? These are the vaults on the top of the second floor. All curved. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that curvaceousness. Ooh, she thick. And then we have this design up here. These cool pillars. Somewhat phallic. But you know, when designing buildings of great grandeur, you know, you've got to have something phallic. or something that resembles breasts, you know, but it's very difficult to do that in this game. Um, Here we have the painting vaults in like cathedrals and beautiful basilicas I saw in Italy. I noticed that they had a lot of these fantastic paintings, absolute masterpieces everywhere, on the walls, on the roof. I tried to recreate that by using random painting helpers, as you can see. It has an effect. It does kind of work. I actually kind of like it. Some people don't, but if you don't, well, that's your problem. Excuse me for the sniffles. It's freezing cold where I am. Here's the window from the inside. Look at that light shining in. In fact, it was so big when I was building this place that the lighting of the game didn't know what to do until I capped off the back. It was crapping itself. We'll also check out these little holy water fonts that I added. Why not? Very effective looking. Down here, we also have the inside palisade, the little area where you can roam around. I don't really know what you do with this space. Anything, I guess. You could use it as a garage. You could use it as a bowling alley. If only we could do bowling, you know. Um, or just some giant open space for quiet reflection. It's really up to you, isn't it? Um, the windows, by the way, are several blocks thick. You can't build these kinds of windows single block. It just doesn't work right in this engine. So these are several blocks thick, bulletproof glass. Then you have these steel trim blocks. And then you have the final outside arches. Same goes for up here. There's a quick way up to the Mage's quarters. This is above the upstairs palisade. This is much more open, a lot sunnier. You could build a garden up here. I would watch out for subsidence though, because if we calculate the stability, I think you might be interested in seeing this. There are certain areas that are very strong, all the way to the weakest areas. As you can see, the red gets quite dark. When building, it's important to note this is fine. You can still build on that, just not as much. What you got to look out for is when the red goes from orange to cherry red here and starts to turn black. You see that? That's where it's the case where don't build here. You know, it's the same on the roof. You can't really avoid that on massive structures like this unless you're some kind of genius. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to tell me how much of a genius they are, and if you are, congratulations. A lot of trim work. It's important to note that the straighter you build stuff down and the more connected it is with the earth, the stronger it's going to be. Anything that's floating or hovering over earth, if you were to build on this little block here, for instance, there's nothing supporting that. So all the weight goes into that, and it will crumble. This is essentially it, though. This is the gigantic monolithic cathedral I was building when they updated the game. I think it looks pretty cool. This is the building before it was added into a map. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what the build looks like once it's been added to the map. So I'm just going to quickly... Oh, I suppose I could show you the outside wall first. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. The outside wall is several blocks thick. Everything is made of steel, by the way. It's the strongest material in the game from what I know, so I built the whole thing just to cover my bases. This is the outside wall. It has sections where you can see the enemies down there. So that's quite handy, because normally when you build a boundary wall, it's quite difficult to see what's going on. It's still very difficult even with those areas. I was hoping that the Zeds would focus on them, but you can stand up here and spike them. The wall is big enough to enter and walk along the inside, and it also has the same feature down here. So you can shoot or, you know, throw dynamite, whatever it is down there. In reality, you'd probably pour boiling oil down there on people. I should have added a door up there, but I suppose it's not necessary. You can climb inside the pillars. Ignore unpainted sections. Every area that you paint takes up memory, and this build was making my computer shit itself a little bit. Even though it's a powerful computer, the size of this build is it's just too much. Can be added into the world and does work really nicely in game, actually. But all these are enterable. In fact, these little pillars are probably one of my favorite designs. The fact that they kind of look like crowns of sorts, some kind of elvish crown, the way they poke out at the top. But yeah, that's the outside wall, and now, finally, I can get to show you what it looks like in game. So I'll see you over there in the real game. Right, welcome back. Here we are. This is the build in the game. As you can see, it's much nicer with some foliage around it. You're also seeing that there's some bizarre structure outside that I've built. That's the ramp. As you can see, I have no idea what happened here. Obviously some pathetic zombie or something has battered that piece of stone, because why not? But this is the ramp that allows you to drive your cars in and bikes in at full speed.
Like a glove.
You jump straight over. You can either land on this roof, or the ground. And then you have the garage. Garage which has been added to have, you know, loot to be stored, and a lot of these little bits of detailing, engines, tables, scrap. Definitely utilize the debug menu to improve your builds by adding this kind of stuff. It really does add another layer of, I don't know, character to your build, I guess. Vehicle mods, yeah, that's full of vehicle parts that we add. We have a couple of our old vehicles, some of the motorbikes. Love the new designs on the cars, by the way. The Fun Pimps really did a great job with this new update, or this stable version of the release. Here we also have a little tiny cabin that leads to a tunnel that leads to the build outside. I don't know if you saw that or not, but it was our old Horde base, the Blender, as we called it. But with everything grown, it just feels so much more real. And we also added our little water dew collectors, as you can see. Also our old farming pot, or cooking pot even. Here's where the farm is. Potatoes, super corn and corn, mushies, yucca. Couple of plots. This is where we keep our farming equipment, as you can see. Farmer boots. Hops. We grow a lot of beer. Potatoes. Why not? And chrysanthemum. They allow us quite a lot of freedom when it comes to cooking. Now you may see some bizarre things in this save. There is modified files that allow for a little bit of extra fun. So as you can see, the jump height, it's absolutely obscene. But we've also increased stacks. So now 65,000 is the stack for most things. But this is where we store all of our stuff, right near the front door. This is it. You know, you build a gigantic base and people don't even step foot through the front door normally. Out of convenience, it's all here. Same over here. This is where we have a part of our production line. This is for making concrete blocks for my builds. I'm currently building a Colosseum out in the wasteland. If anyone's interested, I will be recording the process, if I can get someone to record it. And I'll be able to show you sort of the process behind the build. Here's where we have cement, stone, sand, and here's where we have concrete mix. This is making, yeah, sand, and these are all of our forges making cement. Now I added these little extractor fan doohickeys to them because I think that looks really official. I really like it. Another great reason to use the debug menu is to get tools like this, or building parts like this. But these are all making cement, and these are all making concrete mix. As you can see, we've added some land claim blocks. I asked my friends to move in, and they moved in and made themselves right at home. As you can see, my friend Boris has decided to live on the floor, right in the middle of a corridor. We also added, or I also added these SMG turrets. They're full of stupid amounts of ammo. They're kind of cheated in, mainly because screamer zombies kept spawning inside the perimeter, which is impossible. It should be impossible given that there's 28 land claim blocks and the whole thing is a single structure, but the game can't handle something this large. This is my tomb, so when I die, this is where I spawn. It's someplace that no one can get into, but I can get out of. Added loads of lighting to keep the place lit. We also added proper lighting. So we have here mains power, inside power, and outside power. Outside power is all of our lamps and spotlights. Inside isn't really necessary because the whole place is lit with torches. But this is what it looks like in game, and this is what you can do with it in game. It's a vast building, and it is so big it feels like it has its own atmosphere in here. You know, I expect to see clouds forming up there at some point. As you can see, we're on day 85. It's been good going so far. The outside has been modified too, I should let you know. The outside, forgot about that, has loads of people impaled and hanging up. It's very nice, but we also added iron spikes around the entire build. Now, a lot of people think iron spikes are useless, and usually they are, but I've modified them in the game's files to allow them to take more damage, so they're far stronger. In my opinion, an iron, like flesh and cloth, lose against a structure like that. So, but this is, as you can see, the tunnel, very close to the surface. That wasn't intentional. As you can see, we had to block up some zombies tunneling down, as terrifying as that may be. This was the old Horde base. I won't show you this right now, but just the outside. The thing I do want to show you is kind of a preview. If anyone's interested, this is where we spend most of our Horde nights. It's the Colosseum. This was built purely to be death and entertainment. As you can see, this is where we spend a lot of our Horde nights. Hello, little rabbit. Just enjoying itself among the dismembered corpses and rubble and sand, as rabbits do, yeah. But this is the Colosseum. I'm currently building one in the wasteland, and let me tell you, building in the wasteland is definitely not as easy. This build, I still kept getting annoyed by wandering hordes. The wasteland is nothing but wandering hordes, and at night time, good luck getting any time to build, because you'll just be wasting ammo. But if anyone's interested, I can do a preview video on that as well, and I can also do a build video just so you can see my build process for the Colosseum, just to give you an idea. Don't look at how I've spelt that. The Wasteland Colosseum is out here, very large. This is going to be the same kind of build. I can do a preview of that if anyone wants. But for now, that's everything. I just wanted to hop on here and create a video and show you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, something I'm quite proud of in the game. But yeah, if anyone wants a download link of this, I can upload it. I can look into how people share builds, and I can give you a go. And if anyone's stuck with how to place it into the map, I can do a video on that because it's full of glitches and bugs when you're placing it, but it can be placed. Okay, so that's everything for now. Cheers for tuning in. It's been great to talk to you, lovely people, and I hope you've enjoyed. But for now, that's everything. Cheerio. Have a good one. Bye bye.